That's my thing.
I know, I see that.
That's what I do.
Got that up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go.
That's what I do. It's my thing. Hello, everybody. Hey, hey, hey.
Justin 10. Who's that?
You think it's somebody named
George
Justin?
Wolfers. Hello. Hello, everybody.
Suburban, the white picket fence. I know I saw Pickers in here. Country Homestead Preacher, Justin 10. He's new. How you doing? Let's see who else we got in here. George Wolfers, Swampy Acres Homestead, Lost Dude, Windswept.
Who is this working momsteader chick?
I don't know, some loser.
Hey, look. It's Bonterre.
Bonterre.
It's Bonnie Terry.
Homestead.
He's not being walked by Miss Daisy. Nope.
No.
Thank God for that.
No, she's in cow jail.
We posted it on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I showed everybody.
Yeah, we sold it.
Well, he just thinks he's the boss of this place today, doesn't he?
Uh-huh, yeah.
I mean, like, we can't get into our normal spots because
because you got dog butt in the way.
There's a big old dog butt. Oh, I'm now starting my own ranch in Costa Rica.
Oh, that sounds
very
like fun.
cool.
That's like fun.
What?
It's just, with this weather, it's hard to keep these glasses spotless.
They're glasses. They're never going to be spotless.
So, well, at least the spot, the part where I can see out of them.
Probably.
Okay, so we are going to probably start to do this way from now on with the timeout instead of making a video because my beautiful bride said she wants to participate in it now as well. We're a little low.
Yeah, I was thinking that. But you were the one that said that it was okay.
Okay. I'll raise this up, honey.
This way?
Sure. Let's try it that way first. Right there. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I have one bull calf and 2 heifers.
Nice. Soon you're going to have 2 cows and a bull. Just saying. Okay. The lotion is hard.
Oh, with Puffs Plus.
Oh, yeah. Has essential oils info book coming. It's coming. I start hardcore my schedule next week to be able to get it done. So, I am 8 out of 10 oils in. I got 2 more oils today.
2 more.
It's been very difficult because instead of it being a overview, it's been a little bit more in-depth.
You keep getting more and more detailed.
Well, the problem is that the longer I wait for it to be over with, the more that I learn about each thing and experience-wise. And so it's gotten to a point now where, back in, it was the running joke that I kept changing my mind on which ones to keep. And now, instead, I decided to...
Hey, Todd.
I decided to
With
just
oil?
go ahead and, as soon as I finish this one, is to start a sequel. Now that you have those 10, how about these? So, we'll see how that goes.
Now that's funny.
Just so you know, I had to look up.
Okay.
That is funny.
Do you guys have any tips for me or things that I should watch out for? And also, George wants to ask one question. Go ahead, George.
Good evening, Robyn. Can I ask one question? Sure.
Okay, things to look out for starting his ranch. There's a lot of things to look out for. He's got 1 bull and 2 heifers.
2 heifers.
Okay. Well, the first thing you're going to have to watch out for is when those bags start to fill. So then you're going to go from having 2 heifers and a bull to 2 heifers, a
2
bull,
babies, and a
some
bull.
babies.
Now, before even all that, one thing, I don't know how much experience you have with cattle, but the first thing you're going to have to kind of keep an eye out for is when they go into heat. You'll start to notice them riding each other. Even the heifers will ride each other, or the heifer might try to get on the bull.
Little creek in the house.
So you'll want to pay attention to that. I would definitely, kind of put eyes on them occasionally, if not every day. And if you see that kind of behavior, start keeping a tab on it. Familiarize yourself with what standing heat is. And then just keep an eye on your heifers and start to see if they have issues. Lost dude is another thing, is watch out for bloat. Definitely familiarize yourself with the areas for the all of the plants that might be hazardous to cows. Make sure that you have plenty of food for them so that they're not trying to eat stuff that might not be good for them. All right, so he says, I live in the Netherlands and I looked up the Terra frankincense. It's $111 for 15 milliliters. That's a lot of dollars. So with us, I'm not sure as far as in the Netherlands, but here it's under $100. It's like 90 something dollars. But if you become a wholesale customer, it's actually cheaper than that. It's closer to like 70, I think. So I think you just have to look. But like everybody that's used frankincense, yes, it is expensive, but it is definitely worth every penny that you put into it. We've used it very well and love it. So I'm not sure if, let me see something. Oh, Becky's watching too. Hello, ladies. Hello. Let me look at something.
Okay. So while she's looking that up, if you guys are seeing buffering,
Hello,
then
Rose.
go ahead and refresh, because we've got all green here on our end. So I'm afraid to say it's on your
Might
end.
be, yeah.
That or somewhere in between because of all the storms. Speaking of, here on the Big Bear Homestead, we are opening up our homestead for free swimming lessons in our front lawn.
Ain't that the truth?
You come and you can learn how to swim right there in my front lawn. You can learn freestyle, side stroke, backstroke, any other stroke. We also have a place for bodyboards and boogie boards. That you can literally go from our driveway straight to the pond. And no, we do charge for mud baths. City girl, country house.
You could go to the Big Bear Homestead and get a free mud bath.
We're charging for the mud baths because our mud is organic mud, and it has been grown specifically to...
Look at this stranger that just pops in.
Excuse me, I'm talking about our organic mud.
Go ahead.
And it has been grown...
Go ahead. It's been grown and cultivated.
Especially to help with wrinkly skin. And if you're extremely pale, it will definitely help darken you up.
It says mud baths are part of their spa package. Is there an extra charge for the pig poop?
Yes, if you want the mud bath with the pig manure,
it's been fortified with
then that is a little bit, that's on the pricey side.
Georgette, I'm trying to get you a better answer. I'm doing a little bit of research while we're sitting here talking. Don't worry about going back in the corner. You're good.
Cow manure is a little bit cheaper. Chicken manure is a little bit cheaper. But it all will definitely bring out some things in your skin. And it definitely, you will leave here
Make
with a
you
different
smell better.
odor. So come on down.
Oh, Lordy.
I am so sick of this rain, y'all.
My boots are still wet.
You gotta get it up there.
They're really, really wet. Look, y'all.
Oh,
Look
don't take
wet.
it off.
Woo!
See, and that's the problem with all of this rain.
Ode to Jason.
You know, and it's... Robyn usually doesn't have stinky feet. I usually don't have stinky feet.
They're really not that bad, actually. Whatever, don't even start.
And Dessa...
Well, that's the problem. Ladessa's feet are... Because her boots are not completely waterproof like Jason's and mine are.
Wait a minute. No. Her boots are completely waterproof.
No, she still gets water down in them.
That's because she goes and tries to walk through the middle of the pond.
Okay, so anyway, she gets water down in her boots. And so what ends up happening is her socks get wet. And so that's why it starts to smell bad.
And...
Yeah, and then she leaves them here. Gotta go, still at work, have a great night. Good night, sweetheart. Oh, 52 with sunshine. So it's not sunny now, but it's in the 60s still.
It ain't been sunny in 30 days.
Hello, Dragmar Queen. Dagmar Queen, not Dragmar. Whoops. I always want to see dragon in there somewhere.
This is why we don't have any friends.
Because I'm illiterate. Anyway.
So, as you know, Fridays for those of you...
Jaton. Hello.
I'm going to start stabbing.
Sorry, we have a lot of people who haven't been in a while. Like Lorelai's in here. I'm so excited.
Yeah. And, so, you guys know, usually on Fridays we put out a video called Time Out with Big Bear Homestead.
Mm-hmm.
Well...
Hey! Is it Big Ben or is it Andrew?
Well, we know it's not
Medium Ben.
I think it's my new BFF.
Is this
Big
your
Ben.
Your BFF?
Mm-hmm. Big Ben, my new trapping buddy. So would he be a TBBFF? How would you do that?
Idea. I don't know.
How'd you do that? Anyway. And this is where we basically kind of, it's usually when I stop what I'm doing. And it's Big Ben in the house.
It's Big Ben. Awesome. Hello, Big Ben.
And he's so proud of that nickname.
I know. Well, I mean, it's always nice when you have a nickname. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, you have one. Like, everybody calls you Bear. Everybody calls you Big Bear. I mean, like, that's your nickname. So I don't have a nickname. Well, sometimes I have a nickname.
You got a nickname. You just don't want me saying it in public.
Hey. Anyway.
Not that one.
Dragon is right for me. That's what I feel like today.
You don't like it when I call you Squall.
No, I don't like it when you call me Squall. Really don't like it when you call me Squall. Just saying. And
so, this is when we kind of just chill for a second. We catch you guys up on what's been going on around here. You know, the little stuff that we don't grab the camera for to run and shoot real quick. Of course, everybody knows Daisy's gone on 2 walkabouts.
Yeah, so it feels, this has been a really weird week because we had a big hiccup. Like, you have Monday, and then you have that was New Year's Eve, and then you have New Year's Day was Tuesday, and then everything kind of feels weird after that. So, the crazy thing is that Monday being New Year's Eve, I still had to go to work. So I go to work, and we had just come off of Sunday where Daisy did her walkabout, And Jason texted me, and actually Sunday night I went to go grocery shopping. I come home and they were trying to be funny, and they're like, Daisy's nowhere to be found. And I'm like, you're kidding me, right? And they're like, yeah, we are kidding you. So then Monday rolls around.
Should have done that, Jay.
I know. So Monday rolls around. I'm at work and I get a text message. I think I'm gonna need you to come home. Everybody in their hypothesis jokes. So, oh, Kaylee, hello. So anyway, so what ended up happening is I get this text message, hey, I may need you to come home. I'm like, what? I mean, like, I'm going to be home in a couple hours. We weren't even going to stay all day at work. So then he tells me, he's like, Daisy's missing again. And I'm like, you're kidding, right? And he's like, no, actually I'm not. And so I ended up having to get off of work early, and that's how you got all those wonderful pictures and videos, because I was filming the whole time. But
because we got lucky and caught her maybe like 5 minutes before you got there. Mm-hmm. It was like she knew she was caught, and so she came over to the feed bucket, stuck her head out, let us put the halter on her, and then she was like, okay, I'll walk back to the house. Mm-hmm. But then she didn't know what was coming. She got put in cow jail. So we let the jailer of the house take care of her, brings her food and water, and hay, picks up the poo.
No handcuffs, no tasing. We haven't had to use the cattle prod at all.
So since Big Ben is here, I got a question for Big Ben, because he has a lot of cattle.
Right.
How do you mark them as yours? Do you brand them? Do you just have tags? Or what do you do? Because there has been an uprise in people stealing livestock around here. And I got an awesome brand that I got from a friend of mine.
Kaylee said, any boys brought to the yard from that milkshake? Nope, not yet. She heard those firefighters were hot stuff. Yeah, so I posted on Instagram yesterday pictures of her in cow jail, and she's really, really, really not happy. Oh, shout out to Big Bear tomorrow. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, so, yeah, she's really not happy. So, anyway, so that's, we'll just see how it goes. Have you gotten any pictures yet?
Of?
The bull that we were supposed to.
No.
Yeah, so he's got to touch base with one of our contacts to see if we can get a bull on property. So hopefully, my uncle has found dead cows more than once with one hind quarter missing.
Yeah, there was a lot of folks going around just killing cows, cutting out quarters.
That's ridiculous.
Cutting them out.
Livestock theft is a problem out here too. Maybe a tattoo in their ear.
That's
yeah,
expensive.
Good luck trying to wrestle him down to do that.
You know, I'm seriously thinking about branding mine. The ones that I'm going to keep as breeders, like Daisy and Delma and Calf Pal.
I don't know. I think Daisy and Ben. Maybe you can help us with this. Daisy is probably 7 or so years old. Tags and a big gun. Yeah, ear tags. Yeah. But how? I mean, all the research that we don't have any experience with this. But I know, like, when we had our breeder pigs, after so many years, she's just not interested in breeding anymore. So
I don't think we have that problem.
My question is, at what point is a dairy cow, if you're not using it commercially, you're just using it for, a family cow, is it true that they'll last a very long time? Because that's everything we're reading is that, but again, we don't have the experience to back it up. And we may have some viewers in here who lived on a farm and their same dairy cow lasted for 10, 15 years. But I'm one of these, I don't want to put all of my stock in her still being a great breeder. And,
Well, if she doesn't breed, then she goes to freezer camp and her daughters, or we got her daughter to back it up.
Yeah.
Swampy Acres Homesteads, any input on what
kind of pigs to get started with on the homestead?
Well, how big of an area do you have for them? Just like Lost Dude just asked. And what are you looking for to get out of them? Do you want just strictly meat? Do you looking for the bacon, or do you want to get some good quality lard and have a good marbling to your meat?
Mm-hmm. That's true. We had a dairy cow, but we had our personal milk cow. She always got a pass. 10 to 12 and be ready to replace. See, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking somewhere in that time frame. And that's what I'm thinking is that we're on the way to where we need to start.
Well, we're getting ready to move to Arkansas anyway, so we're going to sell them all anyway, so ain't no big deal.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, just so you know, Ben, that has been a constant jab for
It's
like
not a
the
jab.
last
This has been
5
some
days.
hardcore conversation around this house.
Old Spots pigs.
That's a good pig.
What? Arkansas? Berkshire pigs are great.
I mean, that's been a hardcore conversation.
Even our Yorkshires they were good. I mean, as long as you find
you don't want to have the conversation and trying to change the subject.
As long as you, identify what you want. I'm going to have Georgia all to myself before long. It stinks. No, pigs. If it was me, and it's not, I can't have pigs on my quarter acre. I would get a lard pig and try to replace as much store-bought oil as possible. Right, so that's the thing, is you have to decide what your use is for. That's why we're actually growing both, because I really like having my own lard.
I thought you were getting ready to be funny and say you like pig butts and you cannot lie.
I really like having our own lard for our soaps. It is by far, I mean, it makes a much better soap.
Sammy, did you get your box?
Pick a pig based on meat quality. Yeah, you can do that too. I mean, it's no different than when you do cows. I mean, some people just want, and it's the same thing with a milk cow. People do different. No, she hasn't yet. I'm gonna have to check on that in a second.
Yeah, it's just like I asked Roots if they got theirs, and I haven't heard back yet either.
So that's basically what, you got to really decide what's going to be best for you as far as what you're looking for. You got to identify what. Now, if you want an all kind of, I mean, I don't really think there's one that's.
Well, we've had the of course, we've had the Russian boar, the wild pigs. That's what I got you to marry me on. We've had the Yorkshires. We've had...
Oh, I want to go to Homestead in the Highlands. They just got in from hanging out with the lambs.
You do realize where they are.
I want to go there.
Well, tell them to send us a ticket.
Berkshire is unsurpassed for meat quality and taste. It is pretty good. Huh? Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
What was I talking about?
You need a mangalita.
We've had the Russian boar. We've had the Yorkshire, the Berkshire, the American guinea hog, and we've also had that Ossaball.
Ossaball, yeah.
I did not
crazy
like
about the
Ossaball. I did not like the taste of the Ossaball. So if now our American guinea hogs, the one that we got from Tommy Alderman, were very tasty.
Extremely tasty. The pork is delicious. It is.
And we got
but there's a lot of fat.
We got a lot of fat.
And so that ends up in some of the pork chops and stuff is a lot of almost like a gristle. So you kind of have to. Any ideas on ways of getting lard if we don't have pigs?
Talk to a butcher.
Yeah. So, old spots. I haven't seen any old spots on this. Like, that might be a little bit harder to find.
I'll let you know how those taste after April.
What? Really?
VW phone, they said they have it, so I figured they're going to feed us.
Doubt it. Now that you say it live stream, you put them on the spot.
No, they're going to feed us as you're calling them.
No. So butcher or pig farmer, I sell megalitza lard to my customers. Yeah, that's the thing is like you can go to a processor and ask them for their lard. And I mean you're not gonna get it for free. You're gonna have to buy it. Leaf lard is a special part of the pig, and that's high dollar stuff because it's cleaner and it doesn't. It's not gonna have the smell kind of that goes with the rest of the other types of lard. What?
Nothing.
You didn't know about leaf lard? Of course you did. Because you listen to me.
Can I get you to pronounce how the Brits do? Don't say
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire, Berkshire.
Yorkshire and Berkshire? No.
No. Sorry.
I'm sorry, we're in America and we say Yorkshire and Berkshire.
So could you use guinea
but
hogs?
We could. I mean, I'm sure
Could you use guinea hogs for a combo of meat and lard due to the fat content? Yes. But you won't get a lot of bacon out of them. You won't get a lot of belly. Because they're short.
Yorkshire and Berkshire. Lard is also good for bread making, and yeah. It makes me laugh. I know, right? I'll never forget Mama cooking with lard. It's stank for Mom. Yeah, it does. I mean, you have to clean it out pretty good. But, I mean, that's the terror. I got it.
Okay.
Let's see. Should I try to collect fat from my rabbits and render that? I think it would taste okay. You know, I've never tried that.
Well, look, each animal has its own type of fat. And like, for example, beef, when you render it, it becomes tallow. Beaver, when you render it, it becomes tallow. Raccoon will become lard.
Mm-hmm.
Pig will become lard.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what possums and
Probably lard. I would think, or mixed great pie crust. We had, and I think VW. The reason ours smelled.
What? What are you talking?
Some of our lard, yes, it did. You know why? Because they burned it. They let it cook too long when you were rendering it. Yeah, they put it in a crock pot and forgot about it, so it smelled. It burned. So it wasn't that the lard smelled, it was burnt lard smelled. And it wasn't, and I don't even know that it's the lard. I think it's the cracklings and stuff that was in it. It just, that's what smelled. Didn't realize lard and tallow were that different. What is deer? Deer is tallow, is it not?
I think so. I don't.
Low and slow, yeah. I think, even in a crock pot though, I still think they just left it on too long. But it's alright. You learn with experience. That's the way it goes. But the stuff that I did have that's clean white is it doesn't smell bad at all.
Okay, so
deer is yummy. Yep. Okay, so this whole video been in here 32 minutes. I was thinking that earlier. I was like, this never goes the way we expect it to.
I'm just gonna sit over here and chew on this.
No, you don't. You don't want to. It's spicy, super spicy. So lard and tallow have their different. They're just different types of fat. Okay, so what you gonna do? So today I was driving back.
Well, I kind of wanted to go on through the rest of the week, but every time I start,
okay, well go ahead. Go on the rest of the week.
Like
sorry,
a snowflake. Cut me off.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so of course we had the walkabout with Daisy, right? Mm-hmm. And that took us through Monday, right? Mm-hmm. We had New Year's.
Yeah, we were on 2 family. Right. That was awesome.
Right. We hit the 10K.
Yep, hit 10K.
Which was crazy awesome. Hit 10K. Did the New Year's Eve party with 2 family, VW, Roots and Refuge,
Andy,
Country Girl, Wanda
showed up. Jeremiah.
I already said Roots and Refuge.
Well, I was.
Who else was in there? There was a cab came in there for a little bit.
Anyway, it was a lot of people.
A lot of people.
And a bunch of y'all were in there, too,
Yeah.
in the chat.
And so then we woke up kind of late the next day because we stayed up
Till after 1,
for
because
the Arkansas people.
what we didn't think about was the fact that, that we had a lot of people on there that were central. Oh, Ethan was on there too. 180 degrees from average.
Yes,
they were
Ethan,
on there too.
Ethan was on there too. Yes.
So we had all of these central people, and so we waited until they were at New Year's an hour later. So after 1, everybody was just kind of like.
Everybody was like.
So anyway.
Then we had the Holler Homestead premiere.
Yes, that was
Finding
was
Home.
Monday, or I mean Wednesday.
That was a
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Look, I don't call that a video.
No.
She put enough work into that, and the way that they mapped everything out, that was a full-fledged documentary film, and she did a awesome job.
I mean, it was an hour long. It was a full length. I mean, when you think about it, yeah, it was beautiful.
It was awesome.
And what warms my soul about that whole thing is that, her children are young. Yes, they'll remember it, but will they remember it to the extent
that video was showing?
What that video and all of the footage that they have done over the last 9 months?
Yeah. I got to see the Grand Canyon because of her documentary.
I know.
Mount Rushmore, Niagara Falls,
all of that stuff. I mean, like, I told her this, she took us on a journey across the United States with them. Like, it was not just, hey, we were here, it was like, we got to be right there with them. When she saw the Grand Canyon and you got to see the expression on her face, and then it pans over and you get to see it, you get that overwhelming, just like she did, like, wow, this is amazing.
See, that's what I want to do when we finally turn the homestead over to the kids. I'm going to be like, deuces, this is how much I need a month to survive. Keep sending me my money.
Yep.
Boom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were all invested in their journey. Exactly. Yeah. It was beautiful. The whole thing was, and I know there's a lot of people that are salty, but I'm happy that they're as close as they are to us. They're fairly close. They're, a half a day's drive. So
they are 4 hours.
Yeah. So, I love it.
Yeah. So, we had that. And let's see. That brought us,
boom, out.
Let's see, that was Wednesday, right?
No, that was actually Tuesday.
Tuesday.
And then Wednesday, I had to go back to work, and then it was like this onslaught of rain. It was just... Asheville's it's super close to us, too. Heck, that might even be a halfway point. But anyway, so Wednesday, went back to work, raining like crazy.
Right.
Yep.
So Wednesday, we put out what did we put out? The vlog?
Oh, no, you put out the 10K subscriber thing,
That's
and
right.
we had our class.
And we had you had your very first Essential Oils class for 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
Yes. There were almost 70 people.
Mm-hmm. There were 70 people in there at one time, which was nice.
I think. 60? No, maybe 60.
Maybe
I
70.
don't know. Anyway, it was 60 maybe. I don't know. Whatever.
Hit you with this thing.
They won't be half a day from Arkansas.
And then yesterday we put out our very first video in the
gardening.
in the gardening series.
It just occurred to me what he was actually saying. I'm sorry, it took me a second to register that. It's like, when you live in Arkansas, it won't be half a day.
But you know what's really funny? Look, I'm gonna kick Robyn straight under the bus right now.
Don't do it.
Yep, you're getting boop.
I am a little slow apparently today.
When we first decided to live this lifestyle, we started doing research. Mm-hmm. You remember? We were in the ghetto. Mm-hmm. And had that 1 acre plot. Mm-hmm. And
it wasn't an acre. It was 0.54 acres. I promise you, I'll look it up on the plot and you can see. 0.54 acres. It really was. It wasn't even an acre. Anyway. Hey, country girl.
And we sat down behind the desk. It wasn't this desk. We didn't have this desk yet.
Yeah.
We sat behind a desk and we started looking up stuff. I was hardcore Alaska or Maine. Mm-hmm. Hardcore. And you were hardcore what state?
This one.
You were so full of the caca. What state? What? Which one was it? Huh? What? Yeah. Which one was it?
Georgia.
No, it wasn't. It was not. It was Arkansas.
That's because it was like 13 years ago, so it was a lot closer to when I was in school, so I was still coming off of that.
Now I'm conceding, not arguing for Alaska or Maine. And now she's like, no.
No, I have said that Middle America would be okay. It's just, I remember what it was like with tornado season. And I don't know. That was always a little bit eerie at times.
See, Maine is open to off-the-grid living.
That's great, but this body is not open to Maine living. Just saying. Ain't happening.
Okay.
So
we did that. We did that video. Mm-hmm. And then we got today. You should have just listened to the Lord.
I should have never left. Maybe I would have met you in the middle of Arkansas somewhere. Anyway. I live in Northwest Arkansas. No mosquitoes. Okay.
So today we were talking, and this live stream is not going anywhere near what we talked about. And you said you wanted to be a part of Time Out, and I said awesome. And
we've been filming. You've been filming the.
Kind of regretting it right about now, but.
You've been filming all of your stuff in the shop, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that are happy here that we're doing it this way because there's no drawers open in the background.
Anyway, so you came home.
Yes, came home. But I stopped in the driveway.
Stopped in the driveway.
Because I saw green. Imagine that. After all this rain, saw green. First patch of green I saw was the bed of spinach that we started.
I thought you were going to start singing Bon Jovi's Bed of Roses.
No. I love you too. I love you too, Sub.
Focus.
So, saw the spinach. Took a couple pictures, so you'll see that probably tomorrow on Instagram. And as I pulled a little bit further down my driveway, because I got back in my car, a little bit further down my driveway, saw big, bushes of green in the middle of the garden. And I said, what is this? So I got out of my car. Ladessa, met me in the driveway. And I said, I need to walk over to the garden. She said, Mom, everything's dead. Nope. Something's growing out there in the middle of the garden. So I walked out there, and there are these big, huge greens in the middle of one of the rows. And I'm looking. Oh, and we did see, I didn't show you this, but there's a little bitty radish growing over in the corner somewhere, too. So we never pulled, I forgot about it because I got distracted. Imagine that. So then I walk over to him, and Ladessa says, Mom, those are the Daikons. Dad keeps waiting for them to go to seed, but they're not going to seed. Look, they're not going to go to seed. If they haven't gone to seed yet, they're not going. So...
Not true.
I sent pictures to Jason and stop, it's really loud for them. Okay, so that's a small one. That is one of our Daikons. They are massive.
I'm trying to get it where the light's not.
It's really... because the light is right on top of it. You can't, you're not going to be able to see it. But this is the one of the smallest ones. Most of them had grown so big that we have one that's split open and it was almost as wide as both of my hands. I took pictures of all of that too. I'll post those as well. But
time for a taste test.
Now, Jason, you got to remember that the microphone's attached to the thing. Okay, can't you tell how we carved those at Tech? I don't know. The light made that look dodgy. Yeah, that's awesome. I grew those 1 year to open the clay soil and then decompose. What do they taste like? And don't say radish. They are super spicy. Super, super spicy. I'm scared.
That's good. That's really good.
Ha! What? Oh, that's right. They had that thing. Whew. Hot.
That's good.
That's really hot.
That's really good.
I'd bet roasting would be good. They will be good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, roasting these would be fantastic. But we have it's just split, or maybe it's got
maybe a little worm.
Yeah. Anyway, we grew these this summer and they got to be about the size of like a normal carrot. And I had always seen where daikons
That
are
tastes
supposed
better
to
when they get older.
Right. I always saw where daikons got longer and bigger, and so I was kind of disappointed. And when I saw these today, I realized we didn't let them grow long enough. Mm-mm. They need a much longer growing season. And two, it seems like, because, y'all, these got a frost. And I feel like the frost might have taken some of the heat out of them.
Yeah. Because they're not spicy at all.
They're spicy, but not as spicy as they were. But the ones that we...
a very mild radish right now.
The ones that we canned, we put in a... we put in a pickling. Like, they're pickled. Mm-hmm. The ones that she has.
They're so good.
Have you opened a can already? I haven't eaten any pickled yet. Are they good?
I ain't touched a can.
Anyway, so they're really good.
Seriously?
But, so that's that. Anyway, so that's what we found today. So what do we have planned for the weekend?
Well, we are... Ooh, do we say what we're going to do?
Sure.
Are you sure? You don't want it to be a surprise?
Apollo,
come here.
That's enough.
Come here. Stop dreaming.
No, whenever he has dreams, he starts to get a little vocal. Hey, buddy.
Chasing a pig again.
Yeah, pickle and kimchi is really good. Yeah, that's actually how I was introduced to daikons.
Kimchi.
Well, and daikons are the pickled radish that are usually in sushi. The yellow stuff that you have in.
Brussels sprouts. Now, can you chill, please?
Hey, baby. Hey, pumpkin. Hey, baby. Anyway, so tomorrow we have a couple of projects we're working on this weekend. And so we have to go to Anderson tomorrow to go do that. And we'll be doing some vlogging. Yes. Some vlogging.
Some vlog.
Getting a lot of B-roll.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Stuff. I didn't mean to be in your way.
And then we'll see everybody here tomorrow night at 8 p.m., right?
8 p.m. Eastern Standard
Time, yep.
Now, I do want to talk about something. That I was going to talk about this if I did this as a video, this was going to be pretty much the entire video was going to be about. Apollo, that's enough.
Hey, Green Dream!
Green Dream!
Apollo, come here. Come here.
Come here, boy. Apollo. Oh, there he goes bumping the camera. Relax.
Did he bump the camera?
Yeah, he bumped the camera. That's okay. Okay. Okay, before I get into that, everybody, I want to welcome Green Dream Projects to the live stream. I stumbled across them, and I don't even remember where I found them. And they are
Sorry.
they are in Arizona. And y'all got to go check out their channel.
Apollo.
Go ahead and go hover over them, get the 3 little dots, go visit their channel. They got some really cool stuff going on over there.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool channel.
And he's a hoot. He's funny.
Is
Very
crazy funny.
Yes.
So, especially with the one about snakes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's
Loved that one. Okay, you gonna get in your hole? Yeah, bite that. I dare you. You're gonna get in your hole. You can't. No, you can't do both. I'm talking to people. So get in your hole.
Get in your hole. There
Thank
you go. Yeah, he's very, very cool.
Yeah. So, what I wanted to talk to everybody about.
Snakes is a hard no over here.
Everybody knows, even if you just joined us, 2018 was rough.
Mm-hmm.
But 2017 wasn't really any easier.
Mm-hmm.
And 2016 was kind of okay.
Mm-hmm.
I came home from the Corps in 2001. And I had an anger issue. I was mad all the time. Just angry all the time. And I hated for no reason. Because it was... For lack of a better term, and the best way to explain it, is it made things easier to be mad. It made things easier to hate. And it cost me friends. It cost me a marriage. And I mean, it was a survival instinct, and I'm not making excuses for it, because that type of behavior was wrong. But when you've seen some of the things that we've seen, it made it easier to be mad and angry, and it made it easier to hate. But there was really no cooling off period for that. And it consumed me for the longest time. And the issues that I had with my second marriage, because my first one was just, Marine Corps sent me one way, the Air Force sent her another. We're still friends to this day. Was 95% me. And if she ever stumbles across something like this video or whatever, I want her to know that I'm sorry. That was not the kind of person that I was raised to be. It was not the kind of person that God wants me to be. And I was so angry, and that brings me to this point right here. I was so stinking angry with God. That I didn't go to church. I didn't want to talk about him. I didn't want to hear about him. I didn't want to do anything. And then my friends decided they were going to take me out and celebrate my birthday. And that's when I met Robyn. And Robyn and I were best friends. We hit it off like that. We became best friends. We spent a lot of time together. Nothing romantically happened. We were just hanging out. She was crazy cool. She cheated at pool. That was the thing.
I did not cheat.
I'm talking.
I did not cheat.
This is my story.
Okay. I'm sorry you just assumed that I didn't know how to play.
You told me you didn't know how to play.
I did not.
Anyway.
No such thing.
And we became the best of friends.
So much so
that she kissed me.
No. You opened up to me. And there was no judgment and no...
There was... Yeah. I was comfortable enough with her as a friend that...
I think there were several times that you said, I'm going to tell you this, but then I'm going to have to kill you.
That I was able to open up to Robyn and just... lack of a better term, just vent.
Mm-hmm.
And we started.
Until the cow pile changed everything.
we started dating.
Mm-hmm.
We went camping. That's where the cow pile thing comes from, but that's a story for a different time.
Yeah.
And Robyn was working at a daycare center. And one of her employees or whatever, her and Robyn were kind of close. And her husband was a big time hunter, like me. And they, you know how wives do. They're like, your husband has to hang out with my husband. Because we were married at this time, right? Or were we still dating? I think we were married.
Sure. We're close, yeah. If we weren't, we were just about.
And we met up with a dude, went hunting, had a great time. And I remember sitting in his truck going, I hope this dude invites me to his church. Don't know where that came from. Just sitting in there. And it was not 30 seconds later, he did.
I was pregnant at the time.
And we went to church. And the pastor's name was Frank Thigpen. He still pastors a little bit here and there.
Cattle farmer.
Yeah. My kind of dude.
Yeah.
And he was a very exciting preacher to watch. He didn't pull any punches.
Mm-mm.
He'd
tell you exactly like it is.
Yeah. He preached hellfire and brimstone. He did not hold back. It was hardcore, in your face Christianity. And we went a couple of times, and then I found myself at the altar, weeping like a schoolgirl. But I was
at peace.
I rekindled my relationship with God. Because I first found God when I was 16, 17 in a youth group that a buddy of mine and started going to because there was good looking girls in there.
Mm-hmm. And you went with him.
And so I knew who God was. You know, because that's where I ended up getting saved. It was Halloween. I got saved on Halloween.
That's pretty cool.
And so I rekindled my relationship with Jesus then. And life was just zipping right along.
Life was good.
We had our ups and downs, but we worked through stuff. I mean, you know, God never promised us an easy ride.
Mm-mm. But it was always there.
Right. He was always there. We could always see him.
Mm-hmm. Even we both, I don't know how many people really know this. Some people do because they followed us for a while. But at one point, we even both lost our jobs at the same time. And
wait a minute.
Still.
Why did we just lose the stream?
How are we losing the stream?
Because that's the devil.
Where? Where you say losing the stream?
I just caught it up there, and I saw it up there. See, this is the devil. The devil doesn't want this story out. It's even more reason why I gotta tell it. I'm live.
Hold on. He's coming to tell you about the pigs, I'm sure.
What's the matter with the pigs?
They're fine. Okay.
Wait, what time you getting ready to leave for work?
I mean, about 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're back. That's what I thought. Okay, so we're back. Let's do it.
And so
you were saying life was
going
we
good.
had rough spots. Right. He never promised us perfect, but he was always there.
He was always there.
Mm-hmm.
And we could see him. And I really hate to admit this. I mean, I was having the type of relationship with Jesus that anytime I was in the car by myself, have them please get off.
I'm working on it.
Anytime I was in the car by myself, I was talking to him. I was talking to him all the time. And it was like I was talking with Josh, or I was talking with Big Ben. It was the type of relationship that like you would have with your best friend. And anytime I'd close my eyes to pray, I could visually see him on the cross, and there would always be a peace. But then I got cocky. I mean, my type of I got cocky because, and I still kind of feel this way a little bit to this day, that I'm not 100% sure that we were supposed to be where we are right here. Robyn disagrees. But when we first got this place, so many things started going wrong. And I made the comment, I feel like we may have pushed this and this may not be God's will.
You did say that.
And we made it out. And then a few things we started hiccuping. We tried to find a church home up here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not.
It never fit.
They were not churches. They were more like country clubs.
Yes. Everything around here is...
And then there was a couple of incidences where people in that church started attacking my daughter. Not physically, but anyway. And I got angry again. I quit talking to him. I said, these are your people behaving this way. And I was getting, and then the pastors and the preachers that we talked to, they just didn't want to invest the time, didn't, whatever. It just got me even more angry. And then the fatal mistake on my end was I got my dream truck. I got a Ford F-350 Super Duty dually 4-wheel drive diesel.
If you go back a little further, you had said you wanted a truck and you kept seeing them everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so you thought that was God telling you it was time to get your truck.
Yep. And I started spending a whole lot of time with that truck. I was washing that truck, waxing that truck. Anywhere we'd go, we had to drive that truck.
Had to go in the truck.
And you had to knock your feet off.
Dust your feet off before you got in the truck.
Before you got in the truck. And I wasn't talking to God anymore. I was talking to my truck. And then my son, being the typical, and me and my son, we had a just crazy, rocky relationship. We were at the point where we just couldn't stand each other. And
we were exhausted. We
Mm-hmm.
were doing the dairy, and so
Right.
there was no time for anything,
Right.
including God.
And God took away my truck like he should have. And a lot of you guys that have stuck with us through all of this, and there's a lot of you out there that have, some of you have even started to comment that you're starting to like to see me again. You're liking that you're seeing me. We kind of got in this humdrum kind of state. And God took my truck away, and I got mad. Worked so hard for that truck. Oh.
Angry. Super angry.
Yeah.
All the time. Resentful.
Mm-hmm. And then we went to the Homesteaders of America conference. And I was getting told by some people that certain people were saying some things, and these people were saying that we were saying certain things. And Amy Fuel and I talked. And she and her husband loved on us. And got us to the point, I don't even think they know they did this, which is awesome in its own way. Got us to the point where we kind of started to take a step back. And then I started talking with Tommy Alderman, which he's always been my sounding board. Mm-hmm. Started making me think about things and taking some steps back. And then the Hollers came. And they shared their testimony with us. They shared their story. And I was kind of like, okay. All right. Mm-hmm. And then Roots and Refuge came. And there's some other things in there that I haven't mentioned, like the Jeep blowing up while I was driving down the road, the job at the post office that has put us in a tremendous amount of debt.
Well, and what was crazy about that is we went from thinking it was a blessing because we lost the dairy, mm-hmm. and then you found the job with the post office, which took forever to actually get. But then you started going to classes and doing all that, and it started becoming a good thing. And then it was, you got to have this car. And then you got to have this car. And this one broke up. And it was just... So anyway.
And Roots and Refuge came. And we didn't really know them. I mean, we met them a little bit at the Homesteaders of America conference. And I watched a couple of their videos because they came up in my feed. And everybody was talking about how they were coming to the Homesteaders of America conference. And they sat right there. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Jeremiah was a brother.
Mm-mm. We had no idea he was a Marine. None. Clue. And when he said Marine first, and I was like, he just say he's a Marine?
And we got to talking in here. I mean, y'all remember the live stream. And we got to talking about the broken food system. And Jess got fired up.
The Holy Spirit was in her. You could see it. I mean, like, her whole face was flush, her body, it was in this room.
And I remember she started talking about God and started talking about everything. And I remember sitting here and I started bouncing. Mm-hmm. And I was getting fired up and I was getting
preach it. Go ahead, Jess, preach it.
I was getting excited. She's like, "Oh, I don't know if this is okay. Go. Do
it, go. Keep going."
And then the stream was over. I was full of energy. We went in the house. Loved the way that they interacted with our kids. Jeremiah giving Carol Ann such a hard time about a stick of butter.
It was hilarious.
Hilarious. And then we said the blessing. And then we stayed up just talking. And then out of nowhere.
Well, we were winding down and getting ready to go to bed.
But I mean, it was not in the conversation.
Nowhere.
Just stops. She says, "I need to pray with you."
No. I need to pray for you.
Right.
Not with you, for you.
And she come and got in between Robyn and I. And
just dropped to her knees.
And started praying. And she started praying about stuff that she didn't know.
She had no idea. I mean, like, we share stuff with y'all, but we don't share everything with y'all.
And, she knew about stuff the way that I was feeling about myself, about our farm, our marriage. She just was
what
rattling
they call
it
verbal
out.
vomit. It was everywhere. And of course, everybody's got their eyes closed. And our son has kind of proclaimed himself as an agnostic. He swears he's agnostic, but he was in the room too.
But I think she got to him too.
I think, and that's what I was getting ready to say, was that I think it was her, he was there too. And was right in the mat. Because anytime I bring it up, like, he gets very uncomfortable talking about it. And, so.
And Jeremiah he put his hands on her shoulders and he came around, put his hands on ours.
He prayed for us.
I was bawling by the end. Mm-hmm. Trying my best not to, but it was like I had a big onion in my face. And I couldn't sleep that night. And I laid in the bed awake, feeling like teetotal crap. Because we didn't have a regular bed for them to
sleep in the same bed together.
They had to sleep in bunk beds. And Blaze's bunk bed, anytime you move, it would squeak.
It would move. But they didn't move. Like, you couldn't hear them squeak.
You passed out.
Whatever.
They were squeaking.
Okay.
Trust me.
Okay.
And I was like, they're not getting comfortable. They got to get on the road in a few hours.
Like 3 hours.
I was feeling like just like we were like I could have like we weren't good hosts or we were disappointing. We disappointed them in some way because they never said anything. Okay, let me get this out. They didn't complain. They didn't say anything. And they still have it. This is how I was feeling laying there in the bed. And
we're in the middle of construction on a couple of different projects.
Yeah.
So, like, we
The
have
house is
uneven
trashed.
floors.
kind of embarrassed.
We have a wall knocked out for the wood burning stove.
Yeah.
The bathroom's not completely finished yet. So, anyway, so imagine we feel really bad as hosts.
And the alarm goes off. Everybody gets up. We're making coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And they go. And what?
Coming to say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Love you. Be careful.
Head on a swivel. And that day, I went for a walk.
Throw it in the closet.
I went to a spot on my homestead that I have not been in a long, long time.
Jack.
And I prayed. And that was something that I haven't done in a long, long time. And I had a very long conversation. I did most of the talking. And I wasn't able to let it go. And so I kept praying and kept talking. And long story short, I have rededicated my life to Christ. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not embarrassed by it. And I'm going to share it. I have given my farm, my YouTube channel, my family, everything, my life to Him. And so if God wants this YouTube channel to succeed, it will. I'm not going to stress over it anymore. If He wants us to move to Arkansas,
Come
then
and make it happen.
it's going to happen. Start praying, Ben. Start praying.
Oh, God.
If God wants whatever God wants, God's gonna get. He's my God. And I mean that's just the only way I know how to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I have shared this with her. And I'm sharing, and I am proclaiming it with you guys. I am sharing it with you guys.
And anybody who watches later.
Yeah. So anybody that picks this up later. That's pretty much the end. I mean, there's no dramatic ending or anything.
I don't know. You had it. It was there.
I don't know where we go from here. You know,
we just want to thank
the level of peace and comfort that I have received since working everything out with him is top notch. Look, I'll be honest with you guys. A month ago, I thought for sure I was going to die. I was constantly having chest pain, stuff shooting down my arm. But in a roundabout sort of way, I was okay if it happened. That's how depressed I was, for lack of a better term. Since I've done this, not 1 ounce of chest pain. Not 1 ounce of acid reflux that's been keeping me up. I don't think we've even fought since then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think we've had harsh words.
No, and I mean, I'm sure some people that go through this when you're having rough times. The thing is that everything's tense. There's frustration. There's
anxiety.
Yeah, there's a lot of rough stuff, and so that, you know, and there's been a huge piece that's kind of settled over, and I think really it was kind of it really became apparent that we just had the wrong attitude when we sat down and we started putting together our recap of 2018. We were so quick to talk about all the bad stuff that happened last year. And when we really sat down and put it on paper and started thinking about stuff, and we would go, well, this happened. And then, like, one of the kids, or I, or Blaze, or whatever, would be like, well, but you know what? This happened. And then we would say, but this happened.
And it
But
wasn't.
you know what? This happened.
And it wasn't until I went out there to my little hiding spot and worked it out with it. We worked. I hate to say it like this, but we kind of worked it out like bros. And with that, it was like I left a person out there.
Mm-hmm.
And a new man came back. All of a sudden, I was able to admit that really it wasn't only my son's act of disobedience to me was the reason why we had that wreck. It was because of my act of disobedience to God that we had that wreck. I was just as disobedient to God as my son was to me. And it wasn't until God and I had that conversation out there that it was able to understand that, to comprehend that. It wasn't until I had that conversation that I realized how big of a jerk I was being to the one person that stood beside me through nightmares, tremors, doctor's appointments. All kinds of things. Being broke. Pain. And I want to say I'm sorry. And so we move forward. So, everything that we're going to do from this moment on is going to be what God tells us to do. That's just the best way that I can say it. The simplest way that I can put it. And so we hope you guys join us on this new journey. I have no idea where it's going to go.
But we know it's going to be fun.
But we know who's in charge. And we're just take it from there. So I felt extremely led to share that with you guys. I didn't know how I was going to do it in the video. There would have been a lot of jump cuts. I'm glad we went and did this live. I don't think I'd have been able to get it out on the video either other way. Especially without you being here. And, I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Well,
tired.
you have someone in here asking a question about not knowing where to go. What would you tell somebody that is not quite have the relationship you have?
What? Say that again. It's hard. How can I get myself to the Lord? There's a lot of variables. You have to repent.
We're about to have screaming children.
Oh, kids are fighting. We have to pray. Like right now, everybody that prays, please pray for my kids because I think they're about to get it. We all sin. We all fall short of the glory of God. My one guy that I reach out to a lot, I met him. Now stick with me on this story. Stick with me. Stick with me on this story. I ran a nuisance wildlife business in Augusta. And I was up on a ladder. And I looked over in this dude's backyard. Because when you're 40 feet up in the air, you can look in anybody's backyard if you want to. And, there was a whole bunch of beehives back there. A whole bunch of beehives. And so I knocked on his door to ask him to teach me about honeybees. Well, this man was a pastor. I didn't know he was a pastor. Not only is he a pastor, but he's a psychologist. So needless to say, I got a lot more from him than beekeeping lessons. Every time we'd open up the hive, he would say, tell me there's not a God. Tell me there's not a God.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally just started asking questions. And oh boy, some of the questions that I asked. I told him about my decision. And I told him that I was going to do what Tommy Alderman was doing, where you read a chapter from each book in a certain order, and you're supposed to get you through the whole Bible in like a year. And he told me, no, don't do that. And he told me to start with on December 31st, read the Sermon on the Mount. And so I read it, and then I asked him some questions, and he said, you're not ready for those yet. Keep reading. And basically reread it. Because I'm supposed to read it as if I was there. Sitting there and listening to Jesus teach these things. And that was very hard to understand, to get it. I kept asking him these questions, and he's like, no, you're arguing. What does he mean I'm arguing? And he goes, you're trying to rationalize this to fit the Jason that is there today. No. Read it again. And I kept on, and I kept on, and I kept on reading it, and rereading it, and rereading it. And now he's got me reading the Gospel through Mark. And it's very difficult to sit there and read it and digest it, and to be quiet with it, to listen and to picture yourself there and behaving and watching Jesus behave the way that he does. And I say all of that because we could tell you to do the sinner's prayer and ask Jesus to come into your heart and do all of that. And yes, you need to confess with your mouth your sins to God, ask God to forgive you, and ask him to come into your heart.
Right.
But there has to be a change. And that is the hardest thing to do. Because there was only one perfect person ever on this planet.
That's correct.
And he was born of the Virgin. And he was pierced without breaking a bone. And he was hung on a cross. And then he was dead. But then he rose 3 days later. He defeated sin. And that person was Jesus. And you what's this dude's name?
Mike.
DP Mike. If you're 100% serious about this and you're not just clowning, then you have to want the relationship with God, because God wants the relationship with you. God doesn't want any of his children to go to hell.
Right.
God wants to have the relationship with you. He wanted to have the relationship with me. It's no different than I want to have a relationship with my children. And here's the thing that a lot of people think how it should go. You sinned against You sinned. You committed a sin. You ask God to forgive you of that sin. But then you're upset because he didn't take a consequence away. How many times, if you have children, how many times have your children misbehaved and they had to have a consequence, whether it was you took their phone away or you grounded them or you spanked them, whatever.
You still love them.
You still love them. And when they come to you to say that they were sorry, you're not going to hand their phone right back to them. You're not going to let them off a restriction because that would be bad parenting. Because they didn't learn anything. All they learned is that if I come say sorry to mom, then she's going to give me my phone back.
Right.
And the behavior is not going to change. So, the consequences, God will forgive you, but the consequences will always be there.
Right.
And you have to deal with the consequences. But you have to find it in your heart. You have to recognize that, yes, you are a sinner. We all are. And you have to have that want and that desire to be with the Lord. And you have to ask his forgiveness. Because he is a good father. He is a good and fair judge. And he will not cast you into hell if you ask for his forgiveness. And you accept that he is God. If you accept that he's Lord and Savior, and you ask him to come into your heart, and you ask him to help you sin no more. You're still going to sin.
We're not perfect.
We're not perfect.
I mean...
And you're still going to get the consequences. I mean, look at me. With my truck, I broke one of the 10 Commandments.
Thou shalt have no gods except for
Shall have
me.
no gods but me. And that truck became an idol, which became godlike to me. I admit it. I messed up. I said I was sorry to God, but he's not going to bring that truck back here.
Yeah, it's not coming back.
Not coming back. Promise you, it's not coming back. It's probably a 3 foot by 6 foot square right now. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I wouldn't want that truck back. But the consequence is still there. I'm still vehicleless. She has her car that she has to go back and forth to work with. My son has his truck that he has to go back and forth to work with. Yeah, I'm vehicleless. That's my consequence.
Some bits of it might.
You know, Big Ben, look at, he's confessing. He's a deacon of his church, and he sins.
Everybody sins.
Everybody sins. But recognizing the fact that you have sinned and going to the Lord in prayer, in your what can be referred to as your prayer closet.
And it doesn't have to be a physical closet.
Right. And you don't have to brag about it that you're doing it. Just go. Go to your special place that is just for you and God. And you talk to him. And you say, I messed up. I know I messed up. Because I have my special place. And that's where I went. I don't know where Robyn's special place is, but I know she has one. And And that's the conversation that is between you and the Lord. That's a conversation that's just between you and him. And you and him are not going to have the same type of a relationship that Jesus and I have. Jesus and I are not going to have the same type of relationship that him and Big Ben have.
Mm-hmm.
But it's your relationship, that your relationship with God means just as much to God as my relationship does, as Big Ben's relationship does, as Josh's does. And one of the things, and God's always there, okay? Even through the hard times, you know, he was there with us. He was there watching me. He was there protecting me. He protected my son. He protected that girl that was with my son.
They both should have been dead.
He protected Carol and Ladessa from the lightning strike. He's always, even though I was not speaking to him at all, he's there. And I asked him, why didn't you let me know you were here?
Never left.
And he was like, well, one, I never left. And two, when you were in school, did your teachers ever talk when you were having a test? So the trials and the tribulations that we all go through are different things. They help develop our character. No different as parents when we put challenges in front of our children to help develop their character. We give our children chores so they have good work ethic. We give children responsibilities. You know, we start to let them earn some money so then that way they can be financially responsible, and we teach them and we mold them. And we're physical people. We're here, and our children can see that. But the Lord does the same thing to you and me. He puts trials and tribulations in front of us. That helps mold our character, helps develop us into the godly people that we're supposed to be. So
Mike seems to be hung up on the fact that he's a bachelor and you're a family man.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a huge, difference that he can't relate. He thinks that it's just because we've got a family and he doesn't, that makes it different.
Right.
And, he asked, well, where did you meet? And people were telling him different things.
I have to step out for a second. I'm about to pee my pants.
Funny story. Jason and I met at a bar, of all places. But we were both in a place where neither one of us wanted to be in a relationship. I was coming out of a marriage where my husband was being unfaithful and had basically just settled to marry me because he was Blaze's biological father. And then less than 6 months later decided he didn't want to be married to me anymore and just kind of wanted to leave me behind and see Blaze when he could. And so I had pretty much sworn off guys altogether. They were evil. And didn't need him. I had Blaze, and that was all I needed. And one night, one of my friends came from Virginia down to visit because her family lived in Georgia where I was. And she asked me to take her out into town, and found out that she was actually there with a boyfriend, even though she was married. I wasn't happy about that. So I was kind of trying any way that I could to separate myself from them. And so I sat kind of in a corner and I would get up and dance every once in a while, but that was about it. Jason was coming out of a marriage, which he's kind of covered a little bit. And he was with his friends. They were trying to make him laugh and make him happy. And Jason literally fell in my lap.
Lord, please don't strike her down for telling the story.
You did. You fell in my lap. If you ever really would stop and just think about it.
I don't remember. I remember falling.
You did. You fell right in my lap. Is because the whole line of what you said, that's what made me laugh so hard. It was because you looked right at me, you smacked right down on my lap, and then looked at me and asked me if the seat was taken, and I'm like, I'm sitting and it's me. How could it be more taken? So, anyway.
So, that's what this timeout was about today. We got sharing a lot earlier. DP Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Brother, if you're really serious about this and you really want to get to know the Lord, email me. Email me and I will talk with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I will share with you everything the Lord has done with me and how much He has changed me. I will read scripture with you and explain it to you from my point of view, my understanding, how the Lord has got me to understand it. But
Well, I got problems. Oh, look who's here.
so it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Kaylee had a good point. She said, side note that I must add, if you expect God to provide a partner to fulfill that missing piece, please know that we're only human and we cannot truly fulfill others.
The only person that can fulfill that missing piece is Jesus.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
And Mike, I pray that you take either Big Mike or myself.
Big Ben.
I mean, Big Ben. Sorry.
We have a friend named Big Mike, so anyway.
Take Big Mike.
Big Ben.
Big Ben. Okay, let me try this again. Mike.
Yes, it will be left up.
Please take Big Ben or myself up on their offer. Jesus wants to know you. I mean, He knows you, but He wants you to know Him, is what I'm trying to say. He wants to have that relationship with you. He wants to be able to, He wants you to talk to Him. He wants you to vent, to verbally vomit to Him. He wants you to recognize that you sinned. And He wants you to know what forgiveness and love feels like. And all you have to do, I know it sounds simple, and there's no way that it could be this simple, but all you have to do is ask. And He wants to have that intimate relationship with you. I shared with you part of our story. And God sends people. He sent them to us. He sent
One right after the other.
one right after the other.
Mm-hmm. He said, we didn't listen. Didn't listen.
Well, when I get angry, I get hard-headed. Okay? And bringing all of that anger home from overseas and refusing to let it go. And to be honest with you, I didn't really let it all go till the other day. And it was out there in that spot. Then send me an email. But it wasn't until I was out there and I started talking to him again that I left it out there. And it was a whole new man coming back. And now we have to find a church. It may be in Arkansas. It may be right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And so our channel belongs to God. Our homestead belongs to God. My marriage belongs to God. And so that's where we are. So we've been on here almost 2 hours. And I told Robyn, oh no, it's not going to be 2 hours.
Homer.
Homer, Georgia. So, I'll have to look at that one. You guys, thanks for hanging with us for 2 hours. Thank you for supporting as I struggled getting that out tonight. And thank you for all of you that have joined our family and loved on us. Thank you for all of you that have been here for years and have loved on us through the hard times.
I was really glad to see there's a lot of people that tonight said that they've been with us for a long time, but always felt kind of not afraid, but just didn't really want to comment. And there was a lot of commenting tonight. I encourage y'all, keep it up. We love to see everybody's comments.
Yeah, that's true.
So, all right. So we're gonna call it a night. We've been on here long enough.
We're gonna go eat some vittles.
Yeah, we're gonna go eat dinner now.
Thank you guys for coming. Oh, let me get up here. And remember, I know I say this after every time that we go live, but I really, really mean it. And I feel like God has led me to start saying, and not saying this, but He's the reason why I've been saying it for, a year and a half now. Guys, be kind to one another. Don't let this season of love end because you had to go back to work and Christmas vacation was over. Be kind to your neighbors. Forgive those who've done you wrong. reuse, recycle, repurpose. Let's keep this stuff out of the landfill. We got a pretty big announcement on that one on tomorrow night, by the way. Squirrel. Reuse, recycle, repurpose. Keep stuff out of the landfills. Give the wildlife a chance. Encourage your city council to revive their downtowns. Talk to them about community top gardens and rooftop gardens. Give wildlife a chance. I'm trying to do too many things at one time.
I got this. You just talk. There you go.
And we will see you guys tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm exhausted. Night, guys.
Good night, y'all.